Hello everyone, and welcome to my presentation on my MERN Stack virtual internship. This internship was conducted by WebStack Academy, where I got the opportunity to explore the complete web development process using the MERN Stack, that is, MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js. Throughout this internship journey, we were introduced to both theoretical concepts and practical implementation of full stack development. I learned how the frontend and backend connect, how databases interact with APIs, and how real world web applications are structured. It was a valuable experience that helped me strengthen my fundamentals and build confidence in developing end to end web solutions. Let's begin by understanding the overall objective and structure of this internship. Now that you have an overview of what this internship was about, let me take a moment to introduce myself and share a bit about my background before we dive deeper into the project. Well, I am Pratibha BC, currently pursuing computer science and engineering at Global Academy of Technology, Bangalore. Over the course of my journey, I have developed a strong passion for web development, particularly using the MERN stack, which lets me build both the front end and back end of applications seamlessly. I really enjoy the process of turning ideas into functional, user friendly web applications. Designing clean interfaces, writing efficient code, and constantly learning how to make the user experiences better. Some of my key skills and interests include full stack web development with JavaScript, building responsive and accessible interfaces, and collaborating on problem solving and open source projects. Overall, I see myself as a curious learner who enjoys exploring new technologies and creating meaningful digital experiences. Moving on to the internship experience, this was a virtual internship organized by WebStack Academy. It started with a screening test on web technologies, which helped shortlist students who had a basic understanding of how the web works. After clearing the test, I was given this opportunity to be part of the program. In the initial sessions, we were taught the fundamentals of front-end and back-end development, concepts like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and how the client-server communication works. Gradually, we moved into the MERN stack, where we learned about each technology step by step. MongoDB for databases, Express.js and Node.js for backend APIs, and React.js for building the front-end. What made this internship really engaging was the learn and build approach. We weren't just learning theoretically, but applying every concept directly while developing the project HomelyHub, a property booking and rental platform. So, overall, this internship gave me not just technical exposure, but also the confidence to work on real world full stack applications. So, after getting familiar with how the internship was structured, we began our learning journey with an introduction to web technologies. These are basically core tools and programming languages that make every website or web application work. From how things look on the screen to how data is stored and shared behind the scenes. Web technologies operate in layers, where the front end handles what users see and interact with, and the backend manages how the data and logic works in the background. In the upcoming slides, I will be going a bit deeper into the main building blocks of the HTML, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and how these technologies come together to form the foundation of modern web development. Next, we begin with HTML, which forms the foundation layer of every website. It is the language that gives structure and meaning to content, helping browsers understand how to display it properly. In simpler terms, HTML defines the skeleton of a web page, where each tag represents a specific part of the layout. For example, header tag usually contains the website logo or navigation bar, and the main tag holds the primary content that user focuses on. Then we have section which divide content into logical parts or categories, making it easier to organize. And finally, form tag is used wherever we need to collect user inputs like login pages, registration, or search boxes. So essentially, HTML provides the structure and semantics, while visual design and interactivity comes from CSS and JavaScript, which we explored next. Once we understood the structure of a web page using HTML, we moved on to CSS, which focuses on how everything looks and feels on the screen. CSS is all about visual representation. It controls the color, fonts, spacing, and even animation, making the interface more engaging and pleasant for users. Next comes responsive design, which is where Flexbox and CSS Grid play an important role. These tools helps us design layout and automatically adjust across mobile, tablet, and desktop screens, ensuring the website looks consistent on any device. And finally, there is a theme implementation using consistent colors, palettes, spacing, and typography to create a strong visual identity and maintain brand uniformity across the application. So while HTML gives the page its structure, CSS brings it to life visually and makes it adaptable to different users and devices. After learning how HTML structures a page and CSS styles it, the next step was JavaScript, the language that actually brings a web page to life. JavaScript adds interactivity. It responds to user actions like button clicks, scrolling, or types in the form, and updates content instantly without reloading the page. It also handles the important functions like form validation, where the browser checks user input before sending data to the server. For example, ensuring an email is entered correctly or a password meets the required format. And then we have animations, which helps create smooth transitions and enhance the overall user experience. Some of the core capabilities of JavaScript include DOM manipulation, which means dynamically creating or updating pages elements without reloading the entire page. For example, showing a message instantly when a user clicks a button. Then we have event management, handling user interactions like button clicks, form submission, or mouse movement, so the web page feels responsive and interactive. Then we have data validation, checking user input directly in the browser. For instance, making sure an email or password follows the right format before submission. And finally, we have API integration, where JavaScript connects and frontend the backend through fetch requests, allowing data to be fetched and displayed in real time from a server. So overall, JavaScript turns a static page into a smart interactive application. So moving on to the introduction to MERN stack, it is a comprehensive full stack JavaScript framework that combines four powerful technologies: MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. Together, they enable developers to build modern, scalable web applications using a single programming language, JavaScript, from the database layer all the way to the user interface. So, in short, MERN connects everything, making development faster, more consistent, and highly efficient. Starting with the first component of the MERN stack, MongoDB. It's a NoSQL database, which means instead of using traditional rows and columns, it stores the data in flexible JSON like documents. This flexibility is really useful for developers, especially when working with JavaScript because the data formats feels very similar, almost like working with the JavaScript objects directly. Here is an example of how MongoDB document looks. A record with name, age, and an array of skills. This structure makes it easy to store complex data without worrying about fixed schemas. Some of the key advantages or benefits of MongoDB are: it is highly scalable across multiple servers. It allows rapid changes thanks to its schema flexibility, and it integrates natively with Node.js, making it a perfect fit for JavaScript based applications. After setting up our database with MongoDB, the next layer in MERN stack is Express.js, which acts as the backend framework. It's built on the top of Node.js and helps us build RESTful APIs. That means it provides structured communication between the frontend and backend. Express manages all the routes like user login, product listing, or bookings, keeping each section organized. It also uses a middleware pipeline which ensures every request goes through steps like authentication, validation, and error handling before reaching the main logic. Finally, our Express connects seamlessly with MongoDB using Mongoose, so we can easily query, validate, and store data efficiently. Then we have React, front-end library of the MERN stack, used for building dynamic and responsive user interfaces. It follows a component-based structure where the UI is broken into reusable pieces that manage their own state using props and hooks. Through the virtual DOM, React efficiently updates only the required parts of the page, improving performance. React Router enables smooth client-side navigation without reloading the entire page, enhancing the user experience. With React hooks like useState and useEffect, we can manage component data and side effects in a clean and efficient way. Finally, responsive design principles and CSS frameworks helps ensure interface looks great on all the screen sizes from desktop to mobile. From the front end, React handles everything the user sees, from the rendering components to managing navigation and interactivity. But once a user submits a form, logs in, and requests data, that request needs to be processed. And that's where Node.js comes into play. JavaScript on the server. Node.js allows us to run JavaScript outside the browser, turning it into a powerful backend runtime. It's built on a non-blocking, event-driven architecture, which means it can handle thousands of simultaneous client requests efficiently without waiting for one process to finish before starting another. There are few essential npm packages such as Bicrypt, which is used to securely hash user passwords before storing them in the database. And then we have JWT, JSON Web Token, which manages user sessions through token-based authentication, improving security and scalability. Also, we have Mongoose, which acts as a connector between Node.js and MongoDB, enabling schema creation, validation, and easy data queries. So moving on to the project part, we worked on a sample web application called HomelyHub. It's basically a stay booking platform concept built to apply what we learned during internship. The idea was to understand how a complete web application functions, right from the front end to the back end using MERN stack. It helped us to get hands-on experience in designing user interfaces, setting up APIs, and managing data using MongoDB, all in a single project. So here is an overview of the project we built during the internship. A full stack stay booking platform developed using WordStack. The main goal was to simulate a real world booking system where users can discover, book, and manage accommodations all in one place. So, user accounts. Starting with the user accounts, this module lets users register, log in securely, and manage their profile information. It helped me to understand how authentication and authorization work in a full stack setup, especially using tools like Bicrypt for password hashing and JWT for session management. Then Smart Search. Next we have the Smart Search feature. This allows user to browse and filter stays based on the parameters like location, price range, or amenities. It was interesting because I got to work with the React state management for dynamic search and MongoDB queries for filtering data on the backend. Then we have secure payments. The secure payments module was designed to simulate how users would complete booking safely. Though we didn't use the live payment gateways, this part taught me how to structure and handle sensitive operations, validating transaction and maintaining smooth data flow. Booking history. Finally, the booking history page gives user a complete view of all their past and upcoming reservations. This helped me understand database relationship and how to retrieve and render user-specific data efficiently. Overall, each of these modules came together to give me a clear idea of how full-stack applications are structured, combining front-end interactivity, back-end logic, and database operations into one cohesive system. Here is a look at what complete set of features included in the project. We started with a secure user authentication system, allowing new users to register and existing ones to log in safely. Then there is an advanced search feature which makes it easy to filter stays by location, date, and preferences. Each accommodation has detailed listing of including images, descriptions, and reviews to help users make informed choices. Once users are ready to book, they can confirm reservations instantly through booking management, followed by a secure payment integration for checkout. They can later view all their reservations in My Booking section and even update their details under Profile Management. For hosts, there is also a portal to list new properties, helping simulate how both sides of platform interact. Now that we have gone through the project's features and structure, let's move on to the live demonstration part. In this section, I will be walking you through the actual code base and showing how different parts of the application work together, from the front end built with the React to the backend APIs created using Express and Node. We'll also take a look at how users can interact with the app, like signing in, searching for the stays, making bookings, and managing their profiles. So let's jump into the demo and see what the project in action does. So as soon as the user opens the website, they can see a collection of property cards displayed on the home page. We can even move to the next page. Each card represents a property. When the user clicks on the card, it opens a detailed page showing all the important information about that stay, such as the images related to it and the description about it, also the location of the property, as well as the maximum number of guests it can accommodate, and also the facilities or amenities available there like Wi-Fi, free parking, AC, and then washing machine, etc. Along with that, we have also integrated a map which shows the geographical location of the property so the user can easily understand where it is located. So this was about the property card. We also have a feature of searching the properties. Suppose user enters any value and try to search. Property cards related to that search will appear. So if a user decides to book a stay, they are first prompted to log in or register. This ensures that the only authenticated users can make bookings, which adds a layer of security and personalization to the platform. So from here, a user can newly register. Suppose we want to do the new registration. We have to enter name, enter email ID, then password, confirm your password, and then phone number. And click on register. Now we have logged in as the registered user. Once we have logged in, we can go to My Account. In My Account section, we have the full name and the email address, also the joined date. We can edit the profile. In editing profile, we can change name to anything. Suppose we change like this, and also we can choose an avatar. So we can select a photo and update the account. And as soon as the update happens, now the avatar is changed. Also, we can see what and all are the bookings done by this account. And now it says nothing booked yet, as nothing is booked from this account yet. So let's go back and try to book any place. To book, we need to enter the start date, and the end date, and the number of guests, their full name and phone number. And we can book the place. While booking, it will show the payment summary, and then we can do the secure payment. And then the booked property will come to the My Booking section. After clicking on this, description of the booked site will be displayed here. Like this. And we can also book some other places. We can also search a place and try booking it. We need to enter again the start date and the end date. Name and phone number. And we can book this place. It will be shown below the previous booking. Like this. Next, I will show how my accommodation section works. This is where the property owner or host can add details about their place to list on the platform. So after clicking on it, we can add new place. So first we have a title field. We can enter the title about the property, and then we have address of area, city, state, and pin code can be mentioned here. Also, we can upload photos. of the property. So we can also write the description, and also we can select the property type and then choose the amenities, this, and we can even write check-in checkout time. And the maximum number of guests and price per night. We can save. So project consists of three main collections: users, properties, and bookings. Each of these collections stores related data in the form of documents, which makes it easy to manage relationship between users, properties, and the bookings. The user collection stores all the registered user information. Each user document includes an ID, which is a unique ID automatically generated by MongoDB, and then name, email, password, which is encrypted using Bcrypt for security, and then phone number, and an optional avatar object for the user's profile picture. We also have timestamps like created at and updated at for tracking user activity. Next we have properties collection. This stores all the accommodation listing added by host. Each property document contains details like property name, description, property type like hotel, flat, or house, and then room type, maximum guest, and maximum night. A list of amenities, uploaded images, the price per night, and full address of the object. There is also a current booking array that stores reference to all active or past bookings made for the property. So now in the code editor, we have written the code to connect it with the database. This is the user model, which consists of the user schema containing fields with their data type. Similarly, we have written property model as well as booking model. Then we have controllers. We have property controller to handle adding the new property, fetching all the properties, and leaving a single property's detail, and updating or deleting property. Also, we have booking controller to manage the booking process, checking availability, calculating price, saving booking details, and marketing payment status, etc. Also, we have authentication controller to handle user authentication. It manages registration and login by verifying user details, encrypting passwords, and generating secure access tokens. It basically acts as the gatekeeper that ensures only verified users can access the protected features like booking or adding properties. So that was a quick demonstration of the project in action. Moving ahead, I would like to share a bit about my learning journey throughout this internship. We began right from the basics, revisiting HTML and CSS fundamentals, where I learned how to build clean, responsive layouts and create visually consistent designs. Then we moved into JavaScript, which helped me understand DOM manipulation, event handling, and how to make pages interactive and dynamic. Gradually, we progressed to the backend slide, um, learning how to build service side logic using Node.js and Express. and designing API that connected smoothly with the front end. Finally, integrating the database layer tied everything together using MongoDB to manage data, perform queries, and maintain application flow. Overall, this internship helped me strengthen my foundation as a full stack developer and understand how each layer of a web application works together. That brings me to the end of my presentation. I'm really grateful to WebStack Academy for this opportunity and to my instructors for their constant support and guidance. This internship truly helped me grow as a developer and strengthen my confidence in full stack web development. Thank you so much for watching.